Yo, what's Gucci, everybody? It's your boy ssjk-dots, the first black Super Saiyan world 500. I'm back here with another video. I watched Hoodlum. The film was made in 1997. This is a film starring Lawrence Fishburne, Cicely Tyson, Tim Roth, Andy Garcia, Vanessa Williams, Loretta Devine, Queen Latifah, Clarence Williams III, and Shy McBride. The movie follows Bumpy Johnson. Bumpy Johnson was a gangster back in the day. During the Depression era, he was a real person. This is a, telling of the rise of Bumpy Johnson and his story and stuff. Him, taking over the Queen of Harlem's spot, and that Queen of Harlem was Stephanie St. Clair. Yeah, it was him rising up, taking the spot of the Queen of Harlem, but he wasn't trying to take it in a malicious way. At first, he wanted to rule together with her. I mean, at the end of it all, he still had respect for her, but he still rose up and kind of became the big gangster in Harlem after he had to take down Dutch Schultz, who was part of this syndicate that Charlie, who was leading this syndicate in Harlem, New York, he was leading the syndicate. Dutch Schultz was causing problem in Harlem. Bumpy Johnson wasn't feeling it because, he thought he was also a detriment to the community, causing problems, and he wanted to take out Dutch. So that's basically the story. His rise to Harlem, him seeing Dutch, oppressing the people of Harlem, sending out his people, and he's not liking the fact that, y'all causing too much mayhem in Harlem. But in doing so, he causes his own type of mayhem in Harlem. Now, this movie, I have to do more research into the life of Bumpy Johnson, but most of the stuff we saw Bumpy did, it wasn't like too, because a lot of stuff he did, they showed off screen. Like, for example, him killing some people. There was a part of the movie where they get ambushed by some of Dutch's men. The Queen of Harlem's bodyguard gets killed. A whole bunch of other people. They're trying to go to a little play, and what ends up happening is, he has to defend himself, defend the queen, and push back. Him and this other dude, they push back. Like Whispers. Shouts out Whispers. Bumpy.
Tell Whispers a joke. We the joke, Whispers.
Bumpy. Hey, Whispers is probably one of my favorite characters in this movie. Whispers is tight, bro. Whispers tight. He barely in the movie, but he's tight, though. Shouts out Whispers. Bumpy. Shouts out Whispers. Don't doubt Whispers. That man be coming through doing his thing. But shouts out Whispers. Yeah, a lot of the horrible, like, the stuff I seen Bumpy do, a lot of it in this film portrayed, seemed like it was out of retaliation. And not really, they didn't show him oppressing the people of Harlem or anything. They didn't show none of that. He probably did. And, he was leading the gang. Who knows? He probably was. But they didn't show all this stuff. They just showed me a person who's genuinely, in a sense, who wants to fight back. But he's willing to do what the Queen of Harlem at this time was not willing to do. And that was push back against Dutch, beat him at his own game. She was trying to keep it as peaceful as she can. Even though Dutch did some wild stuff, like killed 6 of her men, and still trying to make peace and all this stuff. And I mean, in this case, I have to agree with Bumpy, because I was like, Queen, you trying the best you can. It's all good, but these fools just killed 6 of your men. They trying to, y'all trying to make some peace and stuff, and nah, it ain't gonna work. And every time they do come to fight and retaliate with you, like, the Queen said in this movie, Bumpy, you're gonna bring war in Harlem. We really didn't see that war in Harlem. They kind of hid a lot of it. They really didn't show a lot of it. But, it was gonna be blood spilled in Harlem, not in the white neighborhoods and stuff, just in the black neighborhoods. And, she wasn't wrong. But still, if they wanted to protect Harlem and protect their little neighborhood and stuff, they had to do what what Bumpy was doing. And also in this film, another thing I do like, another character, in my opinion, kind of underrated in the movie, who, you know, Illinois Gordon, he gets his screen time and stuff. He gets his time to shine. So Illinois likes this woman in this movie. Her name is Pigfoot Mary. Or what we gonna call her Mary. Loretta Define's character. She was looking good in this movie too. Mary gets killed due to, you know, being just associated with Illinois, Bumpy, and all of them. Bumpy's over here causing problems from Dutch. Dutch goes and, you know, offs Mary. And Illinois, he's mad about it. He's pissed and stuff, you know. And this is when he decides he wants to get out. But him wanting to get out, you have our other character who is a very complicated character, but by the end of the film, I do like him because he starts to show a little bit more remorse over the film and starts to, like, you know, like, I guess in a way change. Bub Hewlett's character. So at the beginning, I'm telling you, at the beginning of this movie, his character is going to seem like one of those, you know, Uncle Ruckus type of characters, but I don't look at him as that. I mean, even though he was working with Dutch, and he was working with Dutch because Dutch put this man out of business and, you know, took his spot. So, you know, I guess out of fear and other things, he just had to, you know, submit, and it's probably put a dent on his pride and all that. So Bub's character, Hewlett, him and Bumpy later in the film do something to set up Dutch, and, you know, get basically hook each other up. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch your back, because Hewlett kind of did owe Dutch for letting that cop, the dirty cop that Dutch had in his pocket, kill Illinois. And yo, shouts out Illinois. This man, until the end, wasn't finna snitch for nothing. He got a little corkscrew thing jammed up his nose. Bro got wrapped around on a chain and strung up. He probably went out in one of the worst ways possible. Not the worst way, but he probably went out in a way that nobody wants to go out. Nobody wants to have their body all violated and mutilated and shit before they end up dying and stuff. But he went out like that. But at the end of it, he did not give up Bumpy, even if he decided to quit now. In this moment, he decided to quit, but he was drunk. Maybe next day he probably would have changed his mind and went like, nah, I just want to help you out, work with Bumpy. But in the film, it said that he wanted to quit and he was done. But when him trying to quit, the officer told him, you know, it's no way out of this life, which is kind of true. It's either you're dead or you're in the ground. Well, it's either you're dead or you're in jail. It's either one of those. And by the end of it, once you get to the end of the movie, I like this scene because it was kind of powerful in a sense. Bumpy walking into Illinois' funeral after him and Hewlett shake, and they basically, you know, go like, you know, you go your way, I go my way. Thanks you for your help, but you know, you do you, I do me, we cool. He went inside Illinois' funeral. I like the way it was shot too. With the way Lawrence Fishburne came in. You know, with just walking in and stuff. Dude was acting, you know, very slow. Everybody looking at Bumpy Johnson as he walks in. He's just walking up in there. Boom, 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 boom. He slowly gets up to Illinois, sees his friend, looks at him. He's like, dang, homie. Gets on his knees, looks up at that cross and stuff, and then he just, you know. That's just him, you know, showing his little appreciation and all that, and then getting up, walking out. Then the movie ends. Bumpy closes his eyes. The camera zooms in. Boom. To end the movie like that, while you didn't show the rest of Bumpy, you know, this movie didn't end with Bumpy Johnson dying or whatever. It showed with Bumpy Johnson actually being on top for a little bit. You know, eventually he does die. Bumpy does die. So Bumpy Johnson died at 62 in 1968. And, you know, they didn't show that. They just showed him beating Dutch and getting on top. Now, as far as this film goes, when it comes to the writing of it, I thought it was cool. I thought the writing was cool. If I did have any issues, I wish they did show a lot of more of this stuff they was telling us that Bumpy was doing. Because, you know, the film tried to paint Bumpy as, like, you know, more so this hero for Harlem type thing. While he did some bad things, the stuff like, for example, there's a part in the movie, and shouts out to the guy who played Paul from Temptations. He's in this movie. There's a guy who literally tried to kill him with rat poison. He put some rat poison in his ice cream, right?
Sounds like to me you're allergic to rat poison, boy.
Mr. Johnson.
And, you know, Bumpy made the dude eat it. Because, like, yo, you're going to try and assassinate me and kill me. But he got set up by one of his boys on his crew. One of his main lieutenants tried to set him up. And so, you know, a lot of the stuff you seen him do was, like, out of defense. And not really, you know, being on the offensive. And when he did get on the offensive, it was because of all this shit Dutch was doing. Just constantly pushing and stuff. Yeah. Bumpy did push, you know, he pushed a little bit, especially when he went into that white neighborhood, went inside a white club, and showed totally, that scene when he walked into the club and shut that shit down, he didn't give a fuck if there was white people up in there. He told him, yo, try me, motherfucker, try me. I was like, damn. Shouts out, yeah, I fuck with that shit. Bumpy was flexing, bro. He was not playing no games. I like that. Shouts out Bumpy. But the writing of film, I thought it was okay. You also had Queen Latifah in this movie, if y'all didn't notice it. I mean, she was barely in the movie. Barely. But, yeah, she was in this movie. She did cool, though. I kind of wish she got more screen time, her character. But, you know, she did just enough for the little screen time she had. Some of this was, you know, probably, you know, a little early work for Latifah, not being offered too much stuff. And like, yo, something else under my belt, let's go ahead and get it. She just get something else under her belt. But she was okay in this movie. The editing, I would say the editing for me is probably the biggest issue. Like the way, you know, you cut the different points in time. Like they do put up timestamps saying when certain stuff takes place. Oh, Tim Roth as Dutch. Tim Roth as Dutch was crazy, bruh. There's a scene in this movie where this man literally has some testicles and threw it on the desk when he was talking to the queen, on the table when he was talking to the queen, just to put some fear in her. I'm like, bro, why you holding nuts in your pocket? Dang, that's too much. That
really does have big fucking balls.
That is too much. Them things look nasty. It was all shriveled up and stuff. I was like, ugh. They was nasty. This dude had testicles shriveled up, and he dropped it on the table. Hey, but the queen's right hand man, he grabbed that shotgun real quick, put it in Dutch's face, said, "Don't mess with me, queen." He said it like this.
Man, real crazy. Think he can drop that man's balls upon me, queen?
He said me, not my queen, me queen. He let him know, me queen. And they was like French, you know. I think they was French black people with some French, you know, that was part French too. In this movie, and that was the Queen of Harlem. But overall, I thought the movie was good. I mean, I liked it. I thought the movie was cool. I recommend people watch this movie and check it out. I mean, if y'all want to know the story of Bumpy Johnson, check this out. I think a biography, an autobiography would probably be a better watch. This is a movie. They're gonna over exaggerate stuff. Some things said are not going to be as accurate as people think it is, and some things happening at certain points in this film may not be accurate to what really happened. But just off this film, thought this was a good film. Lawrence Fishburne as Bumpy Johnson, solid. I looked at Bumpy Johnson too, and this was a dark-skinned brother, and they cast Lawrence Fishburne. They cast Lawrence Fishburne, bro. Lawrence Fishburne is light-skinned. He light-skinned. I'm not tripping off it, but it's just funny. They casted a light-skinned black dude to play this, obviously dark-skinned black dude. But other than that, Lawrence Fishburne, I thought he did great regardless. Music choice, you know, the score and stuff, really, you know, really cool. Like I said, my favorite scenes in this movie was the ending of the movie where Bumpy goes to Illinois' funeral. I did like the scene in the rain when Bumpy was reading poetry to Francine. I thought that was a very beautiful moment between them, something special. He didn't say nothing like really like profound, but you know, he just said something, you know, something a little sweet, you know, he just said a sweet little thing to get this girl in. And also the that scene with Tim Roth throwing the testicles on the table, trying to put some fear in the queen. But you guys, if I did have to rate this movie, you know, let me rate it out of 5. I'm gonna give this movie a 4 out of 5. You know, if I had to rate this movie, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5. I thought this was a really good, you know, mob film. Like I said, it's Rise of Bumpy Johnson, and him even making it to the syndicate table with all these other mobsters and you know, in Harlem. And this was around the 1930s and stuff. So this was during the Great Depression. This was a tough time for a lot of people. I just want to thank you all for watching. I just want to give my little opinion, my little review on how I felt about this movie. But like I say, my issues would probably be the editing. Really the editing, like the way stuff just transitions from one thing to the other. And some of the action, I ain't gonna, like, there was one good shootout in this movie. There was one good shootout. The action, like, you know, the action was kind of weak, especially the choreography of the sequence when Bumpy had to deal with those two fat white dudes that tried to kill Francine and Bumpy with those pickaxes. And I was like, it's alright. But I did like, I think if I had to go off like a favorite like moment where some action did hit, you know, Bumpy came up in that room and sliced that police officer's neck.
Let me just put my pants up.
For killing Illinois. That's what I'm talking about. Bumpy didn't care. He didn't care if this was a cop. He didn't care if he was gonna get heat on him. He said, bro, you straight up. Like, I get it. You know, not say Illinois is some innocent person. They all, you know, he a gangster and this is life he chose, but like, bruh, you ain't have to do that man like that. You over there shoving a corkscrew in his nose and stuff. But he was a racist cop anyways and stuff. Even Hewlett called him out for it. Like, bro, you know, if you say nigga one more time around me, I'm still on your ass. So, you know, I did like that scene. Went up there, said, revenge, nigga, revenge. And I got mine. Shouts out Bumpy. He did his thing. He was not playing. He didn't care about these cops. Didn't care if they was white or not. He said, y'all not finna do my people like that. Shouts out Bumpy. He did his thing. Alright, you guys, I'm about to go ahead and end this video. It's your boy K-Dot, the first black super saiyan to wear vibing playing. So that peace, love, positivity, and all that jazz. Don't do drugs. And like I always say, deuces.
What did you do?